Welcome to Sports Betting Podcast from pregame.com for the week of December 17th, 2009. I'm your host, RJ Bell. I'm joined by Vegas runner, genuine professional bettor here in Las Vegas, Marco D'Angelo, 30 years in the business. This is segment 2 of 6, big game preview, Saturday night bowl action. We have the St. Petersburg Bowl, Central Florida at Rutgers.
You said couldn't even get a sponsor.
Yeah, they don't even have a sponsor. All right, so VR, what is the line on this game?
Interesting move here. The opening number was Central Florida, 1-point favorite with the total of 45. That line went immediately to Rutgers -1. I'm talking in a matter of minutes. We touched on earlier, the Colts line had opened at 6, but within 3 minutes it was down to 3. We saw the same thing with this one. Rutgers went to 1 immediately. As of today, Rutgers is up to 3, and the total's still 44.5. So no movement on the total, but a big move on the side. 4 points to Rutgers.
And moving to a key number.
Yeah.
All right, so this is proof positive of a concept I'm a strong believer in the bowls. You can still somewhat apply it, but it's for next year more. There's so much movement on these bowl games early that if you really have your own opinion, and that's the thing, there's different kinds of batters.
Yeah.
Those that have their own opinion, those that use guys at pregamepros.com, those that use whatever. And if you're waiting for your pros, you got to wait for the line moves a lot of the time. And a good pro can use the line move because the line move's not always right. But often, and if anything, if you like Central Florida here, you're happy you're waiting. But there's a lot of opportunity to bet the game early and bet the game late. And it's almost like two different cards. What's the card? What's the lines at the open? What's the lines game day? There's no reason not to play both. And if you want to play both, you usually got to be online. And if you want to go online, check out pregameaction.com. They have the best deals from the most trusted books. Okay, Marco, we don't have an official free pick on this one.
No.
What really jumps out at you about this game?
Okay, one thing, I'm going to plug a video that we did. We talked a lot about handicapping the bowls. Vegas Runner and myself this week in Vegas. Bettor's View, you can check that out at pregame.tv. And we talked about different things to look at. And this is a classic example. You got one team that won their way into this bowl game, and that's Central Florida. And another team who backed their way into this bowl game, Rutgers, losing 2 of their final 3. Does Rutgers really want to be here? What is their motivation? You know, I know everybody going to a bowl game, you
wants to play,
you want to play, but teams have different expectations. And had Rutgers won their last game against West Virginia, they would be in a bigger bowl than this bowl. So this is a letdown for Rutgers.
I totally agree with you. This is one of them games where you're looking at 2 8-4 teams, but 2 totally different 8-4 teams. You have Rutgers, who in the Big East was 3-4, not even a player at the end of the season when they lost them final 2 games, like you said. Central Florida, they were fighting to win the Conference USA. They fell 1 game behind East Carolina in that, and they only lost East Carolina by a few points on the road. So this team's coming in opposite of what Rutgers is doing to come into this bowl game. I agree with you, Marco, on that.
And I agree 100%. Is if all you did was handicap motivation, you can win in the bowls. Now there's complications beyond that, but it really is a motivational issue. And like you said, you've got a team that's had a program like Rutgers that's played in bigger games. They lost to go to a lesser game, as you say, and it's really a situation where you got to think the motivational edge is with South Florida, which begs the question. Central Florida, which begs the question.
Why is Rutgers 3?
Why? Not only why are they 3? Why is there such early money on this game?
I think it's totally the wise guys getting ahead of the public, who's going to see the Big East team, going to see that Rutgers name and lay to 3 points. I think the public's going to be all over Rutgers. This Central Florida team isn't a big name team. I mean, who really has seen them play this year? While Rutgers, like you said, until they lost them final 2 games, they were a player,
right?
In the Big East. And I think when you look at the form, they're 2 opposites coming in. Rutgers is coming in crippled, losing 2 or 3 big games, while Central Florida, they've won, 5 of their last 6, straight up and against the spread. So they're playing as good as they've played all season.
Their last 3 games were probably 3 of their best games, and they have great offensive balance. In those last 3 games, they rushed the ball for 621 yards.
Talking about Central Florida.
Central Florida, and they passed for 711.
Here's the biggest advantage, too, we got to touch on. Rutgers, freshman quarterback. Remember, this kid, Savage, took over for, I forget his name, the big name, Teal, was it, at Rutgers, or the quarterback that was there till senior. On the Central Florida side, even though it's his first year at Central Florida, this kid's a transfer from Wake Forest. So he's really a senior. He's as mature as they come. So you got a senior leading Central Florida, and you got a freshman having to lead Rutgers. I think that's a big advantage, too, for the Central Florida side.
And I think this is a big game for Coach O'Leary, too. Remember, this is the guy a few years ago that was hired for the Notre Dame job and then had the problems and that. Back on the spotlight, win a big game, here with...
All right, so we don't have an official free pick amongst the 3 of us, but it seems like there's a real strong lean to Central Florida.
Yeah, I agree.
As I look at, and I like to profile teams, and this is a trend that's not particularly big, but they've covered Central Florida 6 of 7 as a dog. So you got a team that doesn't mind playing against maybe a slightly more physical or bigger school. They play well as a dog. I love what you're saying is if we don't believe this move from the wise guys and we think it's them taking a position to buy back later, then do you think that we wait till Saturday and see about getting a 3.5 here?
I don't think it'll get to that. I'm hoping
it's not going to 2.5 though.
No, I think it's going to stay right here at 3.
All right. So the worst case, if the best you're going to get, the worst you're going to get is a 3. Why not wait?
Exactly.
And see if you can get a 3.5?
You just might.
And again, we talk about having a lot of outs and using pregamaction.com. Is especially if you're not a huge player, if you're a nickel player or even a dime player, you can have some of these books like Bodog, like Bet Us, where even though almost everyone's at 3, they're at 3.5 because they're getting such square action. And if you
especially Bodog, always on the dogs you're going to get.
Yeah, so if you can get the 3.5 here, now you're looking at, you used to be laying points, and now they got to beat you more in the field goal.
Yeah, that's huge.
But I would say this, if we do think there's a potential buyback, if you do see the 3.5, take it. Because at some point, if the wise guys do buy back, you're gonna lose all those 3.5s, if not.
As soon as it pops up, they're gonna buy it for sure.
All right.
Want to give away some of your money?
That's true. We don't have a true official free pick, but we got some really hot handicappers. Each week we give away a $10 coupon on one of our podcasts. Go ahead, Marco.
Well, since this is the first bowl game of the season, we're going to make the coupon Bowls 10. That's the word Bowls with an S and the number 10.
All one word?
All one word, and that's going to get you $10 off. Just go to pregamepros.com, pick whatever you want to pick, put it in your shopping cart, enter that code, you'll get $10 off. And if the pick's only $10, it's free on RJ.
What happens if the pick's 9?
We send you $1.
No.
RJ mails you $1.
New York for $3. Stop by the old Stardust. Wait, you ever hang out around the rubble of the Stardust?
You know that actually my wife, I swear, was trying to hunt down a piece of the sign. She wanted to get it for me so I could have a piece of that sign.
I'd love to go see the boneyard.
The graveyard, whatever.
I'd like to see that sometime.
That could be a whole episode of This Week in Vegas.
There could be.
Follow us through the boneyard.
All right, good stuff. Now, next up is we're going to be going back to the NFL on Sunday. We're doing San Fran at Philly. And remember, you can get all of our videos at pregame.tv, or if you want to download and listen, just go to iTunes, search for pregame.com.